I tell everybody I'm a serial killer. Look, this was I fucked up with Jason. That was a mistake. But I am a killer.
At this moment, Richard Paul White confessed to murdering his best friend, Jason Reichardt. But little did the detectives know that they had accidentally stumbled upon something far bigger than they had ever imagined.
I've killed 3 other people. I tied her up and strangled her with a belt.
The detectives were horrified to learn that they had unknowingly caught a serial killer, unaware that they were about to face the strangest interrogation of their careers.
There are 2 other girls, but we will never find them.
On September 8, 2003, 27-year-old Jason Reichardt was found shot to death in his home in Aurora, Colorado. The next day, an anonymous call tipped off authorities, naming 30-year-old Richard Paul White, known as RP, as the suspect. Acting on the lead, police located Richard camping in Pike National Forest and brought him in for questioning.
I know you guys are just here to... I know nobody here cares about me. I'm not a fool. I know you guys have objective number 1. I just want you to know that. I know that. I'm not being Buffalo here.
I'm not playing you a trick, okay?
It doesn't matter. I'm going to tell you anyway.
Okay. So you're okay?
Not really.
Yeah, aren't you okay?
I'm sick.
What kind of sick?
My head somehow. I can't stop doing things. I can't stop cruising the facts. I can't stop. And I need this to stop. I either need to die or to be away forever, and I can't be away forever. And I know that once this goes through, they're going to kill me. So, that's what I got to do.
Are you on any medication?
No, should be.
Okay.
I've never been to a doctor that's told me I need to be, but I knew that if I went to a doctor to get help for what was hurting me, I had to tell him the truth. And I knew if I told him the truth, that I'd be sitting here talking to you guys.
Okay, you on any illicit or illicit drugs?
No.
Okay.
No, I smoked a joint about 4 days ago.
That's the last illicit drug you had?
Yeah.
How about illicit legal drug? Medication, what do you say?
Labor Day, I took some. That's it. I'm not on any drugs. I'm not under the influence of any alcohol. I don't have a hangover. I'm well within. I know what's going on. I'm not high. I'm not drunk.
Okay. You know what's up?
Yeah.
You know what's going on?
I think so.
Okay. Why don't you just tell us what happened?
There was an accident. We were just sitting there and we were cleaning our guns.
Who's we?
Jason and myself.
Okay.
Jason was my best friend.
Jason and Richard weren't just friends. Jason had even helped Richard get a job. So naturally, detectives struggled to understand what could have driven Richard to kill someone who had once stood by him.
When was this?
The other night, about 24 hours before you guys found him.
Okay. You're sitting there cleaning your gun?
We cleaned them, and then we went up into his bedroom. They were clean.
Okay.
And then he cleaned his Beretta. I cleaned my Glock. And we were sitting there. We were talking, and I said, "See, you don't want Glocks. They're so dangerous." And we were just out. And my gun went off.
How did it go out?
I don't, to tell you the truth, 1 minute we're sitting there talking, laughing, and the next minute he's got a hole in his head.
Tell me how it happened.
I didn't think it was loaded. I didn't even have a clip in it, but it was apparently chambered. And I told him the only way you can tell with these, and then when I came around like that, I was going to pull the trigger, because when you have a trigger back on a Glock, you know it's safe. That's the only way you can tell a Glock's safe. And it popped him.
Where were you at? Where were you?
Up in his bedroom.
Where at in his bedroom?
He was laying up against the bed, and I was sitting there on the floor.
Okay.
Well, I guess, okay, we did smoke some pot that night. It hasn't been 4 nights then. We smoked some pot that night.
What night was that?
I'm gonna have to say Monday. I got a piece of paper right here. Can I grab it? And
I'm sorry?
out? I just want this piece of paper. If you guys found him Tuesday, it says, then it was Monday.
About what time?
He got shot at 8:30.
How do you know it was 8:30?
I looked at the clock.
What time?
One over on his television. It was like a cable box, and it said what time it was.
In the bedroom?
No. No, I walked out of the bedroom. I freaked out.
Okay.
Jason was found with a gunshot wound to the head in the apartment he shared with Richard. There were no signs of struggle or forced entry, but detectives refused to believe his death was merely an accident.
And the bullet went through his head, and the reason you guys didn't find the shell or the bullet itself is because it hit the safe, and then I found it.
Okay, where was it?
It was laying. Here's the bed. Here's Jason. The bullet was right over here.
Laying on the bed.
Yeah. No, on the side of the bed on the floor.
So were you seated or standing?
I was sitting.
On the floor?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and then what happened?
The reason we were sitting, he said that he had a hell of a hangover, and we were just sitting there talking. Then I just got up, and I was looking at him and staring at him, and I could hear the blood running out of his head. Sounded like somebody pouring water on the floor.
And?
No. I'm sorry, man. That's my
Okay.
friend. Then I got real scared. Like, oh my God, here we go. I picked up the shell casing. I could smell the gunpowder in the air. I looked over and there was a bullet. And I panicked. I grabbed those things. I saw that the bullet had hit the safe. I grabbed the safe. I grabbed his cell phone.
Where was the cell phone?
It was on the floor next to him. He was waiting on a phone call. I don't know from who.
Okay.
Then the reason I told you to take them gloves, I started wiping everything with those gloves.
What did you wipe?
Everything, man. Doorknobs. Toilet
What toilet?
upstairs.
Okay.
The refrigerator. The bong.
Which bone?
I only know that there was one, this little purple one that was sitting on the coffee table downstairs.
Downstairs.
Or in the living room, yeah.
Where were your gloves? You said you grabbed the gloves. Where were they?
They were in my pocket. I drive with them.
Richard did his best to sell his story, but detectives weren't convinced. If Jason was truly his best friend, why hadn't he called for help? Soon, damning evidence would bring the truth to light.
Okay. What else did he take?
Took his gun,
The
Where
Beretta.
was that at the time?
sitting right next to him.
On the floor?
Yeah. We'd always hang out and play with our guns all the time. It was just something we liked to do. I told him how I liked his better than mine, but I could only afford the Glock.
Was his loaded?
Yes, it was.
Mag in
Mm-hmm. Chambered.
the. It was next to him.
Right next to him.
Okay. Wasn't in his holster.
No, it had been. I didn't take it out of his holster.
Okay. Cell phone.
Yeah, I took it.
How long did you? Okay. What else?
There's 3 other murders we gotta talk about.
We got plenty of time, RP. Just take care of Jason.
This one, this one was an accident. Doesn't matter. And you know what? I knew you guys wouldn't think it was an accident. I knew you guys would put me on this, but that's why I got scared. I myself, I know. I got scared.
We weren't there.
I got scared, man. You know, I'm one friend in the world. I don't have anybody, nobody to call. I can't call my father. I can't call anybody. I've recently got to talk to my mom for the first time in 8 years. None of this matters, but I don't have anybody in the world. And then one person I thought I did have just narked me out tonight.
For the detectives, it was a career first. A suspect who not only confessed to the crime at hand, but also volunteered details of additional murders he'd committed. Richard's confession to 3 more murders left detectives stunned. But who were these victims? What was their connection to Richard, and why had he killed them? The interrogation was about to take a whole new direction. What began as a single homicide investigation was now unraveling into something far more sinister.
Can we please have a cigarette?
Tell you what, after Detective Loosen.
I'll blow it the other way. I'll sit back, and I'm gonna hand you guys the world today. I really am. I'm just stressing out. I can't think clearly.
Okay.
You know, I believe in God too, and this doesn't scare me. The hell does.
Do you have a cigarette, detective?
Tell you whatever you want to know. I just want some closure for the family. I want them to know. He wasn't up to no good. He wasn't doing anything bad. He wasn't, you know.
They know that, RP. They know that.
Where's the dumpster that you put this stuff in?
$12.99 Harrison.
What's a $12.99 Harrison?
I used to live there. I know it's a dark alley. I know there's an open dumpster that nobody really cares about.
So did you pick anybody up?
I picked up, yeah, picked up 3 girls that night.
Do you know any of them?
Yep, one of them.
Who was that?
I think it's a small
Teresa. Thank you.
Teresa?
Yeah, thanks. You're the man.
Great.
And they kind of don't let me have lighters now. Thank you. I take it you don't smoke, right?
No, I don't.
Neither do I.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
No problem.
So I pick up okay, I cruise around, I pick up the one girl. And I've never seen her before, and I'm on Colfax all the time. But I've never seen her before. And I end up her. She was $20, big deal. And I go driving along, and I pick up another girl, and she was another $20. And then I was driving along and I saw Teresa,
Mm-hmm.
and I picked her up a lot. And I picked her up, and I told her I was leaving after we did our thing, and then she's like, well, I want to go too. She said, you got to be sure, because I'm really leaving. It's okay, I want to go. And I thought, hell, you know, I'm probably going to die at the end of this trip anyway, you know. Because I had no intentions of coming in here, ever.
The detectives realized that they would have to meet Richard's demands if they wanted the truth. When Richard lit his first cigarette, it brought a sense of relief, but also a quiet surge of power and control. Now, he was ready to spill the beans.
I wanted to die. In fact, tonight when the SWAT teams were all in sidewalk commandos, when they all, yeah, and you can write down, I still want to die. I gotta go face God, you know. I'm just glad that this is over with. And that, look, Jason was a fuck up, and I with Jason. That was a mistake. But I am a killer. I've killed 3 other people. Yeah, well, 4, but one of them, I'm sure they're dead, but I don't know.
Who's the 3 other people? Where?
When?
Where? When?
Let's see. If I had my driver's license, I could tell you to the day. Because it was the day after I got my driver's license.
Get your driver's license in 2002.
Okay. Then that's January, so January sometime.
Where at?
I drive by it every day. You know, I cry about it all the time. I'm not a remorseful or non-remorseful jerk or anything.
That's it, isn't it?
I'm kind of unique, I guess, in that kind of respects. But I picked up this girl.
January 2002.
Right.
Black girl, like.
I think she was dark. I don't know if she was black. She looked foreign. She's real tall, real thin. And you know what? I want their families to have some peace. Because you know what? I've loved someone and had them leave just overnight and not tell me, and it drove me crazy. You know?
It does.
And I can't imagine what these families are going through. And I don't want them to go through that. So I know, none of this matters, but
Sure. So you picked a girl up.
yeah. $60 she got over, and I didn't even have any money.
So what happened after you picked her up?
I said, how much to go home with me for a little bit? I said, I got $60. Will that do it? I said, just an hour. She says, okay. So we drove back and we went into the house.
Back where?
2885 Albion.
Okay. Were you living by yourself then?
Nope. I had a girlfriend.
Was she there?
Nope.
Okay, you went to 2885 Albion, and then what?
They're gonna kill me over all this. You guys got the gas chamber or the electric chamber? Don't matter. I just. And after this, I have hell to look forward to, so. I'm so excited.
So you went to 2885 Albion.
Yeah, we went downstairs into the basement. She started giving me head, and I told her just to stop. I tied her up and strangled her.
Where'd you tie her up?
Richard's first known victim was 25-year-old Tori Marie Foster, a mother of two. He picked her up from a bus stop on Colfax Road in Denver in January 2002. This murder laid the foundation for Richard's future crimes.
What kind of core?
Nylon.
Rope?
Yeah, like camping supplies.
Where'd you strangle her with?
Same thing.
Then what?
All of her clothes off of her. Put everything she owned in a bag. I put her inside of a duffel bag. I buried her, but the dogs dug her up.
Okay.
3 months later, I went back and she was a skeleton.
How long after Albion did you go down there?
Immediately, as soon as I killed her.
So you took her down there. What did you do with her clothes?
Took them back to my dad's house and burned them.
Burned?
Mm-hmm.
Did you keep anything?
Not from her.
Anything like this?
No, because there was... Man, I watched the news. I watched everything. I've been up and down looking for flyers. Nobody cared. Nobody missed her.
What's wrong with that?
Yeah, nobody cares about
Unfortunately.
those people. You know what? And they're at the lowest point in their life, and what am I doing? I'm out here.
Well, it appears you have some empathy.
I have a lot of empathy. You know, nobody cares
I can
about
tell.
these people.
I can
Nobody
tell.
cares. I feel bad. You know, she was at the lowest point in her life.
So how many times have you been back there?
You see that? Or to her grave?
Let's see. To her grave.
10, 15.
How soon afterwards?
I
did you
brought
go
her
back?
flowers. I went 3 months afterwards because I was scared. I wanted to see if anybody had found her.
Is there anything now, like the flowers,
Oh, probably.
for lack of a better term, memorial of some sort?
Throughout his interrogation, Richard appears consistently remorseful. But then, Richard shared chilling, vividly detailed accounts of how he had murdered 3 women over the course of 2 years. The detectives sat in heavy silence, absorbing every word. Richard spoke with unsettling calm, his voice laced with faint remorse as he described how he had stalked, selected, and killed his victims without a flicker of hesitation. But the question remained, could detectives uncover the locations of the victims' remains and finally bring closure to their families?
RP, it's not that I
It's
don't.
okay.
It's not that I don't believe you or anything, but Just to verify, would you be willing to take us there?
Absolutely. Can I go?
Well, hell yeah, I can't take us
I'll
there.
take you there right now, man. That poor girl. You know what? Okay, she's dead. There's nothing we can do for her but pray for her. And you know what? She went straight to heaven because we prayed. We prayed before I killed her.
Who prayed?
Me and her. I said we have to pray together because if two people come together in God's name, He'll listen.
It's this girl in the facts prayed with you.
It's me. Here I am in all my fury and all my anger. She was terrified.
She knows what's up.
I told her I was going to kill her.
Did you have her in a hold, or did you have?
I made her get down on the
shit
ground and I
around
wrapped around her hands up. And once she was tied up, then I wasn't scared of her anymore or getting away or anything. Man, you guys, I'm so glad I'm caught because I've had girls running down the street away from me in handcuffs 10 times at least. That's a messed up cup. It's got a skull on this side of it.
Been doing it a long time. I don't believe anything like that.
I can't believe that she died over. I didn't even have any money.
That's the last one?
No, that was the first time I ever killed anybody
First
in my life.
First time. And it was ligature or strangle?
Yeah.
How long did it take?
Too long. People say you die real quick. You don't. It took her probably almost 10 minutes.
Okay.
A lifetime.
She died?
Just try it. She was on her. I'll show you right where in the house because there's stains from each
What
murder.
kind of stain?
No disrespect to her, yeah.
Okay.
She herself.
You didn't keep anything?
Not from her because I was terrified. My dad was a murder investigator. No, I knew better.
Okay.
I knew better. I knew that.
You know what I'm saying.
Yeah, I do. I do. You want to be able to find that stuff and make sure that it sticks.
No. Well, like I said, we've been doing this for a long time, and I just know sometimes people
Keep stuff.
keep stuff.
I have.
You
I
should
keep stuff.
You should respect. I mean,
I told her to not cry. I told her it'll be okay and she'll be in heaven soon and all this will be over and she'll never have to be on the packs anymore. I told her no more bad stuff.
better life.
Richard provided shockingly precise details about each burial site, a pattern held for every victim. He's the kind of serial killer who, whenever possible, keeps track of his victims' remains.
It's okay, but it's kind of scary. I don't have enough lives to give to make up for it, you know?
So how about the second girl,
All right.
RP?
Analethea Maria Gonzalez.
What was the first name?
Analethea. I have no idea how to spell it.
Analethea?
Yeah, Analethea Maria Gonzalez. Beautiful little girl. And I told her I wouldn't hurt her as long as everything was okay. She said, I just want to get out of town. Me and my mom have been fighting. So that sucks, you know? Her and her mother are fighting. And she leaves in a storming rage, never to be seen again.
Were you living with
fucking
Hazel
horrible.
then?
Yeah.
So you tackled her, then what happened?
Handcuffs on her. Don't ask me what the handcuffs are. I don't know. I've had 100 pairs in my life, man. I've had 6 bulletproof vests. I've had all.
Where was Hazel that night?
I don't know. She was gone again. She used to just take off a lot. I don't know where she was.
Okay,
I
so
knew she wasn't coming back, so I tackled her.
you handcuffed her.
Handcuffed her. And I told her that I had to kill her because I couldn't let her go because she knew where I lived.
Then what?
Told her we had to pray. And we prayed. And we prayed and we prayed and we prayed. And I kept praying for God to show me a different way out, any other way than to kill her. But he didn't tell me.
And then what did you do?
I kept her for a while. I made her take a bath.
What was the reason behind?
I was trying to get rid of all the evidence and stuff. I made her do shit. I'm sorry. I don't mean to talk like that in front of you. I know I
That's
have
right.
to right now, but so we went into the. We were in the bedroom. We were in the living room. We were all over the place. I figured it was the end of my life. I might as well do what I was gonna do. I never beat him. I never beat him up. I never hurt him like that. I was very nice, and I just cried a lot with them when they were alive.
So what did you do with the girl?
Richard's next victim was 27-year-old Annalisa Maria Gonzalez, whom he had picked up on Colfax Avenue, Denver's infamous hotspot, in August 2002. She was chosen at random, a victim he believed no one would notice.
How'd you kill her?
I strangled her with a belt. I told her, I didn't want her scared either. I told her I was going to let her go. I told her, you don't have to be scared, okay? Because I didn't want her to sit there and be terrified the whole time and then get killed. I didn't want to hurt her like that or torture her. You know, it was already, and I knew it had to be done at that point. You see, I believe I'm possessed. I know that sounds weird, but I can't seem to stop. I'm a good-hearted person. I've done a lot of good in my life. I've done great things, you know, but I can't stop. I can now, but
Yeah, the girl at Colfax in Peoria, her van, you estimated 10 minutes. How about this girl?
something happened with her because I told her I had to tie her up. I had to make her naked so that she wouldn't run. And she cried, and I was reassuring her she was okay. And then I tightened the belt around her neck.
Was she naked prior to?
No, I had her clothes. I put her clothes on her so that she. And we'd had done our thing,
Empty
but something
toys out?
happened to her. Her blood came out of her, and that freaked me out because the first one didn't. There was no blood or anything, but she had blood coming out of her nose and out of her mouth. I assumed I shattered that bone or whatever.
About how long after you strangled her
Did she
did
die?
this purge? No, just the blood.
Oh, as soon as I did it, she started
Oh,
bleeding.
okay.
I thought maybe she hemorrhaged. I thought maybe she had something wrong with her, and that it happened because she couldn't breathe. I mean, I wrapped it up, and then she did it. I just held on to her, but we prayed before we did that. We prayed again and again.
And when did the plastic toy box come into play?
As soon as I realized that she was dead, I had to put her body in something.
Okay.
Hazel was going to come home, and I didn't have time to bury her.
And she's bleeding.
And she's bleeding, and right away I put a piece of plastic under her mouth, a plastic bag, so that it would catch everything.
Now it appears that you show respect. Is there again a memorial monument where this watch is?
There was just a tree, and we were up hunting, and it was just the prettiest tree around. And I was thinking about her, and I knew she was right there with me. And I could hear all the demons telling me,
How many times have you been back to this tree? Never.
I can't find it. We were back out in the woods. I can't find it. I've looked.
When you say we,
Me and Mark.
what mark is this?
Mark Mathis. You know, I told him I killed people. I told everybody. That's what sucks. I told everybody.
Who's everybody? Mark Mathis.
Mark. Jason knew I was a killer. My sister knows I'm a killer who ratted me out tonight.
How's she know?
I told her. She knows where they're at.
Richard's sister, Danielle White, reported Richard's confession of Jason's murder. At first, she thought Jason's death was an isolated incident, but as Richard began confessing to more murders, the true weight of the situation became clear.
How's she know where they're at?
I told her I had to confess. I couldn't. It was killing me.
Plot to hold in.
You have no idea. Maybe you do. I don't know. I hope you don't.
Mark, Danielle. What's your sister's name?
Danielle, Kathleen White.
Who else did you tell?
Just about everybody I meet. I tell everybody I'm a serial killer. I tell everybody I can't stop.
Why do you think you do this?
Because I got these voices telling me that nobody likes me, that I'm a failure. Because I've hated my mother. I know everybody thinks that it all boils down to that, but it doesn't. Because no matter how good I am to women, I'm very good to them. They always cheat on me.
Is it, and I don't want to put words in your mouth.
No, you're not.
Is it anger? Is it thrill? I've seen it, we've seen it all.
I know. It's not a thrill because you know what? I used to think I had that in my heart. When I went and got that first girl, I thought that this was something I was going to want to do.
With desire?
There was a desire there. I wanted power. It was a power thing at first. And the second that I had her all tied up, then it was fear.
Is that one or two?
Number one. I killed her out of fear because she was going to tell on me.
No, I'm sorry, what number?
Number one.
Okay.
I told her, I knew she was going to tell on me. And I was scared. And I told her I wanted to let her go, and I did. I wanted to let her go so bad. I was done. I had sex with her, and whatever rage I was feeling, I didn't feel that anymore. Nothing.
Rage toward who?
Everything. Mostly women, I guess.
So what are we talking? How many months here? Like 9, 10, 11? Between 1 and 2?
10, maybe less.
Very desire between?
Lots. Lots of desire.
Desire to kill.
Yeah, every day.
Did
I
you
think about
look?
murdering every day, all the time.
You go out look?
All the time. Pick up almost every day.
And why didn't you do it then? I mean, that's
I know.
a stupid question, I know.
No, it's not a stupid question. I've asked myself that about 1,000 times because I didn't like it. I hated it. I didn't want to take anybody's life anymore. I didn't want to hurt anybody.
Some things we can't control.
And then number two, I just liked her so much. I just wanted to take care of her. I wanted her to be with me. And I knew that wouldn't happen. She was being a to me anyway.
In what
As
way?
soon as I didn't have money, she's well, f you, blah blah blah. Oh, we were nice as pie a minute ago. When you thought I had a pocket full of money.
Any particular thing you look for?
I just hunt. So it's like
Well, I mean,
you look for the weak, you look for the ones that are alone, who don't have a pimp. You look for the ones who are all by themselves, You gotta make sure they look around when they're getting in the car, making sure nobody's watching.
Richard fit the profile of a mission-oriented serial killer, targeting escorts under the delusion that he was saving them from their lives. His narcissism led him to see himself as an empath, convinced no one cared for these women. He believed their deaths were a mere merciful act only he could provide. In his twisted mind, he wasn't a killer, but a savior, rescuing them from a world that had abandoned them.
It's almost like I was told where to go, But she gets in, and I ask her the same thing, how much, blah, blah, how much to come to my house.
And?
It's like $50, I think.
Okay.
Took her back,
Took her back what?
and I'll be on some place,
Okay.
and I tackled him.
As soon as you got in the house? Or?
Yeah. Just take control right away. Took her clothes off, or made her take her clothes off. I didn't even handcuff her. And then, that's,
So you tackled her.
yeah.
And
And she's like, okay, whatever.
okay.
I'm not going to fight you, just whatever. Don't hurt me, okay? I'm not going to hurt you. And I said, and if you do what I say, everything will be okay, and you can be on your way.
Okay.
And so I tackled her.
What's this girl look like?
Dark hair, longer. She had longer hair. I don't remember any tattoos or anything on her. And see, that's why I'm bummed out right now, because I'm afraid that you guys aren't going to be able to figure out who they were.
What race was she?
Spanish.
And it just, okay, no tats, anything distinguishable?
I think her teeth were all messed up. I don't remember it, but I did. 22, 24, 24-ish, I'm going to say. She had a whole bunch of albums, not with her, but she told me about her album collection. There's a lot of heavy metal, old rock and stuff.
When was this?
About a day and after, it was after, a day or 2 days. It might have been the very next day after Anarchy. I'm thinking it was like the day after that, though. I couldn't even see. I was like blind. I couldn't hear very well. All my senses were gone except for, I don't know. Completely out of my mind, though. Just weird. Like possessed. Fully possessed. Fighting myself, too. You have to stop. You have to stop. And I'd hold him and I'd comfort him and we'd cry. And I'd just hold him and hug him and I'd ask him about their life and I told him about mine and told him all my problems. And they seemed like they cared, but it was only because they were scared. And I just wasn't them. And I felt so bad for them. I told them I felt so bad for them. And I was so sorry that they were in any kind of situation like this. I was so sorry. And I told them, didn't your mother ever tell you don't get in a car with a stranger? And they tried not to look at me. That's one thing I remember. None of them wanted to look at me, and I told them it's okay.
So how long was this girl with you?
I'd want to know what a monster looked like, too.
Just days after killing Annalisa, Richard abducted 32-year-old Victoria Lynn Turpin in September 2002. Richard used the same belt from Annalisa's murder to strangle Victoria and later buried both women in a shallow grave behind his home.
I got her up, and we didn't have sex anymore. But we talked about everything, and we prayed. More praying. And I told her I had to kill her. She looked me in the eyes, and she just kept, I probably would have said the same thing. Just wait a minute. Wait a minute. Just saying anything. Just wait a minute. I said, I have to. I said, turn your head. And I put a belt around her neck. And I cinched it up. And prayed out loud. Like yelling, praying.
While you're doing it?
Yeah. Because I knew Jesus was standing right there.
So you cinched it up, and what happened?
She died.
Is this the first one you cinched up?
No.
Well, what I mean, RP, I think.
Okay.
Excuse me. You can either go like this, or you can cinch up. You can cinch up like this.
Yeah. That's how.
On all of it?
The first girl I tied the...
Like that?
Yeah. That's how I did it.
Okay, the first girl what?
First girl I had the rope stuff, the little ropes, and I tied those.
Like this?
No, I just tied them in a knot on the first girl. And
Like
not
this?
Yep. Well, I mean, to where she's choking and I'm not even there. And then, I know you guys are...
No. I don't know where to go.
I'm going to hell. It's like,
First girl, you tied in a knot. Second girl?
I put I cinched a belt. One of those belts that are all cross-threaded, braided, yeah. That way, I mean, it could go all the way as tight as you wanted it to.
We are all creatures of habit, you might say. Did you use the same particular belt every time, or
Because I got rid of everything every time.
whatever was handy?
I had to get rid of evidence every time.
Okay. So where did you get rid of, quote, evidence every time?
First time I burned it all. I got away with it, I might add. But I didn't get away with it. Not in my heart, not in my soul.
Richard prayed with each victim, convincing himself that this act somehow absolved him of guilt. He believed that by ending their lives, he was rescuing them from a greater suffering, one only he could see. But while he painted himself as a reluctant savior, the reality was far more calculated. He claimed he wanted to be caught, yet his selection of victims and attempts to cover his tracks told a different story. Detectives knew that had it not been for Jason's murder, he might have never been stopped.
Were you concerned that Hazel would go out and say, what's going on back there? Or
Yeah. Very concerned, but at the same time, I wanted to be caught.
did you keep anything from this girl?
I'm trying to remember what she had.
Because people keep stuff.
I know. I kept, from the second girl, that's who I kept stuff from. The one thing that was prominent was a cross,
On who?
number 2, and Lethia.
You liked her, didn't you?
Yeah, I did.
Kept a cross, a watch.
Yeah, and the cross had a ruby, a red ruby here. Can we smoke some more?
Well, I don't have any. They're going to go get it back out of my car. How about after number 3?
Oh, there's been a lot of kidnappings.
Girls off the street?
Yeah.
Girls working the street?
Yeah,
Any girls that weren't working
No.
the street? They're all working the street.
every one of them.
You're sure that they're working the street?
Positive. Because that's kind of what sets me off, I guess, is when
What sets you off?
we get in the car and then they ask me if I have a girlfriend or anything like that. I say yes, and yet and I didn't, but they're still gonna be with me. They don't care about people. They have no compassion. They don't care if they're gonna spread a disease or anything.
So, kidnap, how many? And what constitutes to you kidnapping?
Forcefully taking somebody somewhere. There was a girl not too long ago. I left her up on Lookout Mountain, handcuffed.
Just kick her to the side of the
I
road?
told her to get the f*** out of the car. I think about it when I wake up. I dream about killing.
Do you want to?
I don't want to kill anybody.
Okay. But is there something you... I don't want to put
God tells me.
out there, Pete.
Basically, I think it's God telling me that everybody dies and everybody does something for a reason. Everybody dies for a reason, and it's always time when it's their time. And I told God, I don't want to be your tool to kill anybody because I don't have it in my heart. I used to think that maybe I did. At one time I thought maybe I did, but I can't get it out of my head.
Like many serial killers, Richard felt the urge to keep souvenirs from his victims. While many killers keep souvenirs to relive the thrill of their crimes, Richard kept them only until the fear of getting caught overshadowed his need to hold on.
You take me there and I want to find a thigh bone,
Goddamn right.
femur,
Goddamn
tibia,
right.
skull.
You know, you asked me about keeping trophies and I didn't keep anything from her, but I went back with every intention of taking her head, her skull, because when I did go back, it was 3 months after the fact, and she was laying there. I don't feel as though I ever needed to kill anybody. And then the other girl was roughly the same area where I found her, only on this street here. This one goes back, you can go to Fitzsimmons or go back onto Colfax.
Ursula?
This is as a matter of fact.
Okay.
There's that little hotel right here, whatnot.
Right on the corner there?
Yep. Well, I was this way, where it turns into all that, dead end stuff over here. I picked her up and we went and parked. I don't even remember what street. I knocked the out of her and made her to where she'd stop biting me, Remember that? And,
Did you have to restrain her?
Yeah.
Was she conscious when you did that?
Yeah.
How did you restrain her?
they tied her up and put cuffs on her.
Okay.
I think I tied her up, but I don't. It doesn't seem right to just tie her up in the car. I think I probably had cuffs.
And how did you kill her?
I strangled her also.
With
A rope.
a rope?
Yeah.
You're sure it's a real roundabout? What makes you sure?
Well, you know, I'm not sure when and where, but I'm sitting in a car right now, choking her. I'm dead sure. And I used it like a tourniquet.
Now, would you have prior to strangulation?
No, it wasn't about.
No, I'm not saying that it was, but you said on some of the other girls that
We had, yeah. But I wasn't saying you're gonna have I'm gonna kill you.
Right.
You know, they were willing to have so they could leave or whatever. They thought that would be it. I never told them, you know, or die.
No, I'm not saying that you did, but I'm just saying.
On number 4 and 5, did you have those girls? Or
No.
either one of them?
No, it was in the car, and it wasn't even about. It was about not being able to stop anymore.
The detectives ended their interrogation, marking the close of a chilling chapter. Richard's reign of terror was finally over. Detectives recovered the bodies of Richard's first 3 female victims, but the remains of his last 2 victims were never found. Their names and the exact timing of their deaths remain a mystery. The judge rejected Richard's claim that Jason's death was an accident, pointing out that the bullet's trajectory contradicted his story. Given Richard's familiarity with firearms, it was highly unlikely that he would point a gun at someone while cleaning it. In 2004, Richard Paul White pleaded guilty to the murders of Annalisa Maria Gonzalez and Victoria Lynn Turpin, as well as to charges related to the assault of 3 other women. On September 17, 2004, he entered his guilty plea, and on November 29, 2004, he was sentenced to 2 consecutive life terms without parole. In a separate case, White pleaded guilty to first-degree murder for Jason Reichardt's death on September 8, 2004, and was sentenced to an additional life term without parole, plus 144 years for assault. As part of his plea, Richard Paul White helped investigators locate his victims' remains, providing closure for their families, and he's currently serving multiple life sentences at the Centennial Correctional Facility in Fremont County, Colorado. Richard Paul White's case is a chilling reminder that the most dangerous predators hide in plain sight. Was he unable to control his murderous urges, or was this just another wicked excuse? But more importantly, were there victims he never confessed to? Please share your thoughts on this case in the comments section below. Also, like, share, and subscribe to our channel for more such content.